Welcome to another edition of the 1st and the 15th by myself, Damalare. It's my series generally where I cover a canvas and paint, and hopefully along the way you guys are able to enjoy or glean something from what I'm creating. One of the principal rudiments of Sans Elegante is to move without elegance. And so many people think pushing themselves, doing more than is necessary to try to learn a new thing and, doing something outside of their own skill or personal understanding of where they are currently is elegance, is pushing themselves. They have this almost masochistic view. One thing that I say is to live without that type of elegance. Oh yeah, before I forget, rent is always due. I just quickly wanted to talk about the painting that I'm about to create, and it's infused with all of the knowledge that I've accrued so far, and not just that, the ethics of all of like the different types of paintings that I do. So in terms of dynamism, in terms of prayer of sorts, and in terms of just something that is joyful, right? The name of the painting that I'm about to create is called Amnesty. And what amnesty means is a pardon from the courts, or an official pardon for offenders. One of the main things that I seek is grace, mainly it's literally just important. I don't know how long I'll be able to create in the way that I want to create, but so long as I am doing that, I will be developing my thought process, always trying to imbue my paintings with something, and partially to express a message as well. First, I want it to feel grand, and all of these things. That being said though, we're on the 3rd edition of Rent is Due, the 1st and the 15th. I would really love to be able to say that I know exactly how this is going to turn out, but I don't. So I can only ask for grace for myself, and for anyone who wants to follow me along my journey, just to accept me as I am, as I try my best to do that with all people. Just genuinely always try to seek forgiveness, always try to seek grace, and in being yourself, you should be able to win. And that's kind of what I want to prove with this, is that regardless of how other people view me or how I view myself, I can win regardless. Because it's never really other people's negative opinions that should be affecting you, or their positive ones for that matter. Everyone should be able to lead their lives with a level of honesty, with a level of sanctity, and a level of freedom that allows them to become their best self and most positive self when, participating in this thing that we call humanity and society. That's really the major things that I want to say. I'm going to do this, and I want it to turn out well. I can't wait. Alright, I just wanted to quickly have a nice colour conversation. So, for Amnesty, what I was gearing towards was having a rich colour that had a feeling of, I wanted there to be, a level of consolation there. So I created brightness and darkness, and I wanted to separate them totally. And I do believe that I achieved that in the way, the Ojiji are or have been made. I wanted the Ojiji to feel like there was bright and there was a direct light that was illuminating them in a level of darkness. I wanted it to be totally neutral, as when you're in complete meditation, there is an understanding of you're giving yourself up in a way. You're giving yourself up in a way that is beyond your control. And there should be no level of negative emotion in there. And there should be a rich sensation there also. Because with, Amnesty, there is certain levels of understanding of creating a picture that is contemplative. What I wanted to do was create something that was contemplative, something that was direct, but then also something that was able to be interpreted through color. And I wanted to invoke a level of night sky in there. But yeah, that's just another color conversation. What's good? I wanted to come tell you guys a quick story about a friend. Now, I love this friend so much, and I see in them a lot of what I see in myself in terms of where I was once and where they are today. You see them doing so much and adding so much value to themselves monetarily. However, what they're bringing into their life gives them no sustenance, and they're constantly running away from something. And now what this friend is running away from is poverty, and I'm exactly the same. I also run away from poverty, right? And I was doing so many different things in terms of when I was a marketer, when I was fashion writing, when I was styling, when I was in architecture. And in doing all of these things, people were looking at me and seeing me, go from industry and being able to be a generalist, because back then it was kind of like the multi hyphenate era as well. So it wasn't that far fetched, but whenever it came down to it, people didn't know exactly what I did. So with each individual will probably be a different answer. Now, in the back of my mind, like I said in Rent Is Due, I said I've always known I wanted to be a painter. But the one thing about that is that I never vocalized it. I just kind of knew in the back of my mind that I would stay low, do my studies, and just keep on going, keep on hitting. And eventually, I'll come out and it'll be like, bow, I'm a painter, doing all of this, all of that. But the one, drawback, and it's the biggest drawback to it, is that what should I say, I wasn't able to get their help from the people around me because they didn't know how to help me. Because they didn't know what I wanted from this game. Now, when people know what you do and they naturally love you and they naturally want the best for you, they're gonna get up out of your way, much like people are doing now, and then bring to you and attract towards you the things that are meant for you, just as well as you doing that for yourself. Now, this isn't a case of asking for help because, just as men, like, just as a guy, in like in the most humble way possible, I don't necessarily ask for help. It's not like one of my major strong points, and it's a flaw in many respects. But at the same time, back then I was literally thinking earlier today, where I was thinking to myself, oh, it's not just it's not about me asking for help. It's about the value that people bring when they know where you want to go. And when people know where you want to go, much like the universe makes room for you, your physical world makes room for you. And that's the one thing that I see from my friend. Like, they have so many accolades, they have so many nice things, and all of these, trophies. But with all of these trophies, in terms of what they genuinely want for themselves, they don't have that yet. And it's amazing, it's great. It's great to run away from poverty. But you're not necessarily running towards what you genuinely want. And that's one major flaw with all of that is you're never really going to run towards what you want when you're constantly running away from something. And it only took me up until now to be able to say this in the most humble way possible, because I don't want to act like I'm all high and mighty going on this, was expressing this story as if, I've got it all figured out. Like I said, I'm not really a major person to ask for help. But when I see them, I want the best for them. But I don't know how to want the best for them because they don't know what it is that they're after. Now they can be after one thing this year, and then next year it may be totally different. So they may achieve something with whatever they want to do this year, but then next year there will be a whole nother achievement in a different industry. And that was the same thing with me. Like, I achieved things in architecture, fashion, writing, styling. I made most of my money in styling, but in terms of value and pushing my career forward, the value that I was getting wasn't in the direction that I necessarily wanted to go in. And that is important, because when we spend time doing something and we can love it so much, but it doesn't enrich us in terms of all of the things, all of the accolades that we want around us. And now that's not to say that, I'm earning majorly from art. However, it is enriching me in all the other ways, and I have faith and understanding that in me continually going about my purpose, that there's going to be the enrichment consistently. Or at least I have faith that there will be. And of course, there's the ups and downs. And of course, we have to get money today, because sometimes you just gotta have to go out and get it. And you gotta do whatever is necessary to do that. But there is also the understanding of knowing exactly what we want to do in order for the universe to assist and for people around us to assist. So for my friend, what I will say is that as much as they enjoy what they're enjoying now in terms of all of the accolades that they're getting, that there should be a time and a moment, as much as practice and all of these other things, and as much as getting in mileage, that they find value and they find their directive, they find their North Star, in order for everybody, including the universe, to be able to give them the riches that they deserve, because they're a genuinely good-hearted person. But yeah, that's really the story I want to say. I want us to be the greatest, and just as much as my friends are helping me and giving me value, I want to help them in whatever way I know possible. This is for anyone that wants to watch this and knows me for, being able to impart some sort of, morals in the things that I create, that we gotta be kind-hearted to ourselves, and we may not need to ask for help. It's just the actualization of a goal or the actualization of a vision is in part announcing that vision sometimes. Being able to be accountable to ourselves, and it activates the universe to conspire for you to get that. So yeah, no. Always remember, rent is due. We gotta take those risks and prosper always. Hope you enjoyed this video. Here's Amnesty. Finished another painting. Have, just tried to be consistent along the way and creating something that is a good story, as well as something that is and amnesty, in terms of self-forgiveness, in terms of technicality, in terms of value to the story that I'm telling currently, is important. Final part of the 1st and the 15th. For some reason, I did not feel right without sending you guys off with a little bit of a message. You know, I really felt in my purpose, in my vibe. I've just been moving with gratitude and trying to move with as much grace as possible. I spoke about patience, so it would only be right for me to continue on being patient. I know that if I had more time to paint, or if I had more time to create, that I would be doing the work that I know I was placed on here to do. I would like to close this just by thanking God again, thanking my family and thanking my friends. Without all of those factors and the faculties, none of this is possible. And yeah, amnesty, 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 amnesty.